An extraordinary sight. I realized this must be the fabled land of Plutonia, as documented by the brilliant scholar Obruchev.
Actually, Little Orpheus it's quite an old idea. It started off way before we were part of Sumo. I sort of had this idea about going to the centre of the Earth, and I think at one point it started off with going in a submarine below a crack in the ocean. But the whole thing started off as a first-person adventure game, so there was a lot of sort of like traversal, a lot of climbing around and exploring. It was a little bit more serious, and it was just this idea of wanting to do something that had that sort of real historical vibe to it, but was a kind of, I suppose, an enhanced version of the sort of walking sims we'd done before. And when we joined Sumo, there was an opportunity to take some games over and talk to Apple about them at the beginning of the arcade service. And we got talking about it and kind of went, this could work on mobile. This could work as something which is kind of inspired by titles like, Inside and Limbo. And we could keep all that kind of story and convert it across to being a mobile platformer, which was really cool. So we literally just sort of went over, we threw some stuff together, took it over to Apple, they really liked it. And the next thing we knew, we were making an arcade title. But it's worth noting that at this point, there was only about 4 of us in the studio. So the very, very early work on it was done by a very, very, very small team. And Matt joined the studio, I guess probably, do you reckon halfway through production, Matt?
Yeah, I think I came in about halfway through. A bunch of episodes were kind of grey box. There was some that were more arted up than others, but then there were still some that hadn't been touched yet. So I got to come in and really kind of like make a mark on what was there and kind of tweak what was also there. And it was really great that you basically gave me a blank page to work from. It was like, come in and give us your honest opinion, change what you want.
Ivan swing here. This is a brilliant music sting. When Jess and Jim were doing the music, it was one of the moments when that bit went in that everyone just went, ooh, oh, that's what the game is. It was a really great moment.
Yeah, I remember that really well. We were all sat around the computer, weren't we? And we put that little string in and then hit play and sat back, and that was like a proper goosebump on the arm moment. It was like, yes, this is coming together now.
Yeah. I think one of the things which, if you don't make games, that is often hard to get is how late stuff comes together when you're making games. That for a really, really, really long time, huge parts of the game are quite unremarkable to look at and often very, very broken and not really working. So there's always a point on every kind of bit of development where everyone kind of holds their breath and goes, is this going to work? And then you have those kind of moments when things fall together and you really kind of like have that sense of relief when you realise, yeah, this is going to work. We'll be all right with this.
Yeah, there was perfect timing then, because that chase sequence was one of those exact moments where we were kind of convinced it was going to work and it wasn't kind of playing great. And then we kind of tweaked it a little bit more. And then we finally added that little animation in of him leaping out the way at the last minute. And it just went click. And it was like, yes, okay, there it is now. That's how it works. And the rope swinging, to be fair, we went through a lot of iterations of rope swinging.
Yeah, I think we have a couple of programmers who never want to look at a rope again after that. And it's one of those things, I think, when, again, if you're not a developer, there's stuff which feels like it should be really straightforward and really obvious to get right. And it's actually incredibly difficult. And it's where you kind of, the more time you spend making games, the more respect you have for like Nintendo of going, the way that their mechanics are so beautiful, so elegant, so well put together, and you know that is years and years and years of expertise and iteration and trying, and actually even relatively simple stuff is incredibly complicated to make it feel perfect.
Yeah, I don't think it helped that we set ourselves the goal of delivering a console experience on a mobile phone.
I think that was relatively ambitious, yeah.
Yeah, but I think arguably achieved. You only have to look at the reactions of the press and people out there that, Little Orpheus is something special on a mobile device.
Definitely. And I think it's that kind of thing, I guess, the story and the scale of the world of going, why can't we have a huge adventure? And, there are other mobile titles that have really done that as well, and obviously hugely inspired by Playdead in terms of this. I mean, it can be more different in some ways, but it's kind of fundamentally the same sort of idea of being really cinematic in a mobile thing.